The project selection after cut, I was wondering if you could take us through whether cut influenced the way that you pick projects and how.
Well, yes. Well, that's a very good point, because there are two ways that we pick projects. One is that we commission, well, three actually. We commission somebody to write, or we write. We have the idea within the company, and then we expand that. And the third is that we do joint ventures, and we've done joint ventures with most of our film projects. For example, Chopper was a joint venture with Michelle Bennett's company and Andrew Dominic.
They came to you with that?
They came to us, and they wanted and needed development money. Little did we know that 5 years down the road we'd still be searching for it, but we're still trying to get it up. But we did. But that was again, I think every project that we've done has been a hard ask, other than getting Square, which was, the money was there from the Macquarie 9 Fund, and that was a fairly simple deal to do. But Chopper, of course, was a very difficult movie to get up through a federal agency.
But you went with the project when it was brought to you.
Yeah, we saw, Michael and I saw that this was immediate. I mean, Chopper's huge in Victoria, as you know, and at the time he was much bigger than life down there than he is here. So Michael and I talked about it and just said, let's go for this immediately. So we came on board and co-produced the movie. Michelle was the producer. We brought in Al Clark, which I think was a good move, because he knows the whole Cairn scene. And then, of course, it just took off here.
So was Chopper's returns from sales the cream? Was that where?
Chopper's about, as you know, it takes so long to go into profit, mainly because distributors go bankrupt in Norway or whatever, or they just don't pay. Michael Borglund told me from Beyond told me a terrific story about how he was in Germany trying to get the money from the German distributor for cut, and the distributor said, "Oh, mate, we've got no money. We haven't been able to sell it to anywhere in the world. We've got no money. We can't pay you." And he was walking through Hamburg Airport, and he happened to look up at the TV network, the TV set, and the cut was playing on TV. So that obviously just ripped us off, as they do. Distributors have a habit of that.
But you do have some positive stories about.
Oh, I have. I mean, Chopper was, a fantastic movie. We were an investor in that film. We've been, getting checks every time it's reported.
Can you put a percentage on the return?
That would
at this stage.
It's a hard one. I think we were in for about 12-13% of the movie, maybe a little bit higher. And of course, the investors, whilst it's just about to go into profit, whilst it's not quite there, but it will, the investors, as you know, get paid out first, so that money would come through, and then when it goes into profit, we'll share in the production company side, as well as the investor side. But we're not afraid to invest in films. We don't do it that often, because if we can get, if one can find the money from a sales agent or the FFC or a state agency, and you can put it together that way, then it's obviously a better game plan.
But because of the delay in getting returns, does Mushroom Pictures have other short-term?
Yes.
What are those?
Well, funnily enough, we made we made and distributed 7 features in 7 years, and at the end of that, that was that's kind of pretty exhausting. And I had a lot of television ideas I wanted to explore with Toby Creswell, who does quite a bit of development for us. So we put together a project called Great Australian Albums, which would be 4 by 1 hour series, and we took it to SBS. They've taken it on, the FFC has taken it on, and we're halfway through production on television. I've sort of got I've got my sort of feel back for TV. I really like doing TV because it's immediate, and film is, you know, so complicated and complex, and I love film too. I love going to the markets, and you know, when you get a hit, and the adrenaline is fabulous. But with television, you can shoot, you can finish, and it'll be on air a month later. And I love that immediacy. I had that in my record company, where you go and see a band, you love the band, you signed them up, you recorded them, they're on the chart a month later. And it's that kind of, you know, that immediate hit that is great, which, you know, with film it's much harder.
But for a company like Mushroom Pictures, the mix of film and television would seem to be ideal.
Absolutely, yeah.
Do you have a scientific way of doing it? You know.
Well, I had been working on during Macbeth, and we have, at the moment, we probably have about 5 or 6 features in development, but they're all in different stages, and there's one that may come good if we get the actor that we want, it'll be financed tomorrow.
Now, are these all self-financed development?
This one is a joint venture with that we're doing with Film Noyce's company, Rumbalara, and Ian David wrote the script, and Jonathan Duplitsky is directing. So it's an incredible creative team. It's about based on the it's not. I shouldn't say it's based, but it's similar. Got a similar feel to the Aussie Bob Trimboli story set in Griffith, where Philip comes from, actually. And it's about the whole marijuana trade. Mafia in a country town, basically. It's a fantastic script.
So, but I was referring to development finance for that. Was that generated out of Mushroom Pictures?
Some of it was, and we went to the AFC. I mean, you know, our attitude is if the AFC is an FTO and Film Victoria are set up, they're there to give development money, so you know we're there to hopefully to receive it when we come up with a project that they want to put money into. We just got some money from them for a terrific little project that we're going to shoot out of Melbourne hopefully later this year. But you're right, the film and television sides work in very well together. Particularly when they're music orientated, and what the rough cuts that I've seen have been incredible on the SBS show. It will stand out, I think. And then we're doing a DVD set. So Andrew, you can imagine the complicated negotiations between SBS, FFC, music publishers, and record companies to get them to agree to not a huge budget. I mean, it's not a tiny budget by any means, but television can eat up, particularly documentary TV between music and archives, can eat up all your budget, and you know. But I loved. We're doing another television show straight after this, and we'll probably do another series, I hope. And that I've got a full-time little TV production company that we have down in our office, and they're working away.